Prequels. They either work or they don't. But if you find the right movie that does the formula correct, it could be a good time. Today could be that day. As today we're talking about 2009's Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. Is it a good prequel? Or is it just another one that we'll forget about? Let's go find out on this week's Dissect That Film Podcast. Let's go!
Flip the switches to maximum amplification as Parker, Dan, and Angela prepare for their operation. With trivia and plot points scrawled across their walls, laughter and debate erupts as the movie's drama calls. The world may call them crazy, minds gone astray, but genius and passion and madness all dance the same way. Now the show begins to rise from its broadcast realm, and you can open your eyes as we dissect that film.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dissect That Film Podcast, the podcast that dissects the good, the bad, and the ugly of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me are the other two hosts of this show, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. Hello. We're back. Oh, that's where that came from.
Sack, baby.
For anyone who is a patron and listens to the Patreon pre-show, you'll know what the hell that has to do with anything.
Extra pulp, just the way you like your juice from the sack.
Seriously,
creamy.
$1 gets you that pre-show. It's worth that
good.
$1. Listen to whatever the hell we're talking about over there. But today is episode 197. We are inching closer to that big old 200. Hopefully we don't quit at episode 199. That would be very unfortunate, but we're looking up. We're looking up from here. Today we're talking about the third entry in the Underworld series, Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. This movie was directed by Patrick Tatopoulos, who was in charge of the creature. No, but we make that joke every episode because he's been in every episode of the Underworld series. In the first one, he was the creature effects artist. I believe he still did creature effects in this one. We'll get to that. But then he was the production designer for number 2. And so they finally decided, why not give him a movie to direct? Now, from what I saw, I believe his company, Tatopoulos Studios, was involved with the creature effects on this. I couldn't find who the creature effects studio was. Not even the behind the scenes told me. This one's behind the scenes on the Blu-ray were a lot more limited than the other two. The other two had like an hour and a half worth of shit, and this was only like 30 minutes. So I only got a limited amount of things.
Those fucking sellouts. Come on,
son of
dude.
a bitch. But there was
enough special features.
So many visual effects studios involved in this movie. We had Duran Dubai, who Luma Pictures, Intelligent Creatures, Celluloid, Furious FX, Element, Fort Blue, Necropic, Proof, and Subpar. And they all were in charge of different aspects of the CGI in this movie. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it more when we get to certain scenes of why having so many visual effects studios doing visual effects for your movie is not usually a good thing.
No.
But we'll get to that more in detail when we get to those parts of the movie. The screenplay was done by Danny McBride again, Dirk Blackman, and Howard McCain. Story was done by Len Wiseman, who was the director of the first two, Robert Orr and Danny McBride. It stars our good friend Michael Sheen. He's back, baby, as Lucian.
Being a badass.
He is ripped. Bill Nighy as Viktor. Rona Mitra as Sonja. Stephen McIntosh as Andreas Tanis. Guess who's back? Kevin Gravoy. I think that's how you say his last name. But he's back as Reyes. I was so excited when he was back.
Yes.
So he actually made a 2-part comic of based on this movie. He's also one of the original creators of this franchise because he was a lead writer.
Which label published it? Do you have any idea?
I don't remember.
No big deal.
I didn't look super deep into that, but I did see that fact. David Aston as Coleman. I'm trying to look at characters that I remember seeing a lot of in this movie, and it's yeah, that's about it. We have a couple of the suit actors from the original Underworld come in and actually play some of the lycans that weren't transformed, like that didn't transform yet. Brian Steele, they just labeled him as Big Lycan, and then I think it was Leighton Cardno as Fearful Lycan.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I don't either. But they were there. This was released January 23rd, 2009, had a budget of $35 million, and it made $91.4 million at the box office. Pretty good. It's going to get you another movie, even though originally Len Wiseman wanted this to be the end. He envisioned these movies to be a trilogy. Even though this is a prequel, it's still part of a trilogy because it does tell the story. It does fill in things. Dan is licking a sack right now.
No, dude, finish saying what you got to say. I have video watchers. When I first took a drink of this, they would have got a little bit of something.
No, that's all I got.
No, like I took it. It says extra pulp, and I was like, "Is it supposed to be this grainy?" like I like pulp in my orange juice, but I was not expecting like a fucking sandstorm.
Tom Cruise is galloping in the desert as a sandstorm chases him.
Yep.
For anyone who listened to The Mummy 2017 episode,
no,
call back.
The orange juice tastes good.
I don't like pulp in my orange juice, you know that.
But it's very...
I don't want to chew my drink, thank you.
Yeah,
I think if a woman drank this, she'd get pregnant, is what I'm saying.
Then I definitely don't want to drink
There's a lot of seed in here. Some grit.
I don't know if that's how the human anatomy works.
I don't want it. Stop it.
That's where babies come from.
It's like that movie. What was the movie with Cher in it? Where the daughter thought if she kissed a boy, she'd get pregnant.
I have no idea.
What was that, Mermaids?
Oh, yeah, Mermaids.
Was that Christina Ricci and Winona Ryder?
I think so.
I think yeah. I think that was like
I haven't watched that movie in so long.
First movie. Yeah,
I have no fucking idea.
I saw it one time when I was a kid.
Wasn't it old as fuck from like the 80s?
From the 80s, yeah, probably like late 80s.
Was Tom Hanks in that movie?
No, that's Splash.
Splash, that's the one I'm thinking of. My apologies.
They're both about mermaid. Well, actually, I don't think Mermaids was actually about a mermaid, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was not. From what I can remember, it was not.
The Paul Haslinger came back as composer for this. If we talked about him in the first one, and then he was replaced by Marco Beltrami because he wasn't available to do the second one, and then I guess he is the composer from this one on, which there are 2 more after this one.
He's like, I ain't getting off the ship now.
We did talk about it in the Underworld episode that Rona Mitra actually auditioned to play Celine, and she lost out to Kate Beckinsale, of course. But the reason that she was cast in this was because of her resemblance to Kate Beckinsale. Like, they look very much alike.
Yep.
And so, and for anyone who remembers, in the first Underworld, when it is explained why Viktor chose Celine to turn her into a vampire, was because she resembled his daughter so much. And I thought that was a great callback, especially when you audition for this for one role and then you get the other because you look like the girl who beat you out.
Yeah. I don't know how I should feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, for anyone who didn't listen to the Underworld episode, we did talk about the fact that there's a scene in this movie that they actually replaced in the 2017 like recut of the first Underworld, where this Sonja is actually in a certain scene compared to the original actress who was cast for the first one, because they're very different looking. The original Sonja is a blonde, where Rona Mitra is not, and they just look very drastically different. But it's the same thing, same scene, maybe a little bit. In the original Underworld, there were 2 lycan suits. In the second one, I believe there were 3 or 4. This one, there were a total of 15 suits used between some of the
Nice.
original suits, plus they made more, plus they reused suits from Dog Soldiers, which came out in 2002, I believe. So this movie came out in 2009, so that's like a 7-year difference there. And they still had the suits from Dog Soldiers and reused those for background lycans, which I thought was pretty interesting, especially anyone who is a fan of Dog Soldiers, which is a fantastic werewolf movie.
Yeah, I need to see it. I've heard so much.
It's so good. But the fact I read that fact, I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Especially because if you look at the werewolves, because this is the movie that teaches you what a werewolf is compared to a lycan.
Yeah.
Where the first two didn't really explain it so well. You just kind of assumed that everything was a lycan. And then the second one was like, oh, yeah, so now there's this werewolf and this lycan, and they got differences, and that's kind of all you get. Where this one legit explains to you the difference between a werewolf and a lycan. They're very similar, but there's a difference. So, like, the werewolf has, like, the more pronounced snout. It looks like your classic werewolf. And
yeah,
for anyone who's seen Dog Soldiers, that's what the werewolves look like. They look like the werewolves in this movie. Like, the long snout, they stand up on, 2 legs, but they could also, gallop on all fours. So yeah, they used there was 15 suits, but then there was like the amount of VFX shots in this were like quadrupled compared to number 2, just because of a couple scenes that occur in this, which is, you can tell 100%. But I still feel that everybody who was behind this movie really cared about what they were doing. And so everybody who has been involved in this franchise, there's not a lot of new faces. The fact that they got Patrick Tatopoulos to come in, he wasn't really well known as a director, but this was kind of his baby. He helped kind of create this franchise. So why not give him the keys to a movie? And to give him the prequel to the story we've already seen before, I thought it was pretty interesting. And the fact is that this only had a $35 million budget, which is pretty crazy for a third part of a franchise. And they even talk about it in the behind the scenes where they're like, usually when you're at the third movie in your franchise, your budget is quadrupled compared to your first and second movie. And there's so much uphill you have to climb to be able to succeed, because sometimes people are just kind of tuned out. They just don't care anymore, especially when you get to a third entry, especially if it's a prequel. So they're like, we want to make sure to keep the budget low. We wanted to make sure that, people are still going to be interested in the story, and that we're not going to shoot ourselves in the foot by blowing out our budget and making it just something nobody wants to see. The unfortunate thing is this was number 2 at the box office when it released. Paul Blart Mall Cop beat it out.
Oh, fuck, dude. Listen. This reminds me of that fucking movie Grown Ups. That fucking movie, we got that piece of shit over Pacific Rim, and that made me so fucking mad. I was bitter as shit.
Yeah. I like Grown Ups, but yeah, Pacific Rim is the better watch for me. I would rather watch Pacific Rim over Grown Ups. And they're like, let's do Grown Ups 2. And I was like, oh, can we please stop?
Never.
Did you guys see the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2?
No.
What?
I'm trying to ignore it.
Yep. It's happening.
Oh, no.
It's coming out on Netflix,
Yep.
everybody.
Oh, good. I
Oh,
don't
good.
have
We
that
don't
service.
have Netflix
So,
anymore.
yay.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's about all I have for the behind the scenes I could find. Like I said, the BTS on the Blu-ray, not as extensive as the first 2, which was kind of unfortunate. It didn't really give me, because like the first 2 literally broke down every aspect of the movie, between the visual effects, the practical effects, the stunt work, all of that. This was just like, oh, hey, we wrote the script and we translated from script to story, and then it kind of gives you a little story about each thing, but it doesn't really go in super in depth. So I was kind of disappointed. So that's all I got for you. So now I think it's time to jump into the plot of Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. Are we ready?
Do it.
All right. It is time to dissect
Dissect
that.
that.
Boom! So the stuttering. So the movie starts with a little voiceover where it's like 2 decades since the creation of vampires and werewolves, Lucian was born. And yeah, it's a werewolf in a jail cell, like full on werewolf, gives birth to a baby. A baby.
Push.
A human baby. And who would walk in but Viktor with a crossbow and just fucking murks this werewolf. Like, she just like flies off screen, and he is hesitant about killing the baby. He wants to, but then he's got a bad idea up in his head about what he wants to do with this baby. So you find out that Lucian is the first technical lycan, which is a werewolf, but is also human. It is able to kind of go between both, where they mention it in Evolution, the fact that when William would turn people, when let's say turned into a werewolf, they stayed a werewolf. They could not
forever.
resort back. The only time they would change back is if they died, and we actually see that happen in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Viktor's big plan is, I'm going to take Lucian's blood and I'm going to infuse it with a bunch of people and turn a bunch of the slaves into lycan, and then I'm just going to take advantage of them and use them as guards, and be able to do all the labor around this castle. I mean, it's literally like his land is like, it's a castle, and then that's it. There's like nothing else around this place unless you like travel pretty far, and there's like humans somewhere. So we're in like the I don't know what kind of room this is, the conference room pretty much for the vampires, as everybody's freaking out that they got to deal with the werewolves, and Viktor is constantly with his eyes like this. I love Bill Nighy, but his eyes are always like this, and they're blue as shit. I don't know if the contacts were bothering him, but geez, man, he's just like, simmer down, everything's gonna be fine.
Eyes weren't red, but he needed clear eyes.
He sure did.
Clear eyes.
We see Tanis, played by the same actor as Evolution. He's there. You find out that Marcus and Amelia are asleep at this time.
Yes.
So this definitely takes place after William has been caught and imprisoned and all that stuff. Also, they probably just didn't want to bring back the 2 actors who played those characters. They were like, no, we want to show you how shitty Viktor was. So that is, it is Viktor's time.
Yeah, it does work within what they explained in the last 2 movies, so it's not entirely far-fetched.
So we then see somebody riding on a horse getting chased down by werewolves, and werewolves look okay in this scene. Again, like I said, we're getting more CGI werewolves and stuff than we did in the first 2, so I'm starting to tell how they don't look as great as they did in the first 2. So this person is getting chased on a horse. They're wearing a mask. This person is a death dealer, as you find out based on the mask and what they're wearing. Getting chased down. Then you see these massive fucking arrows that this fortress has, and they're just shooting these werewolves. And then you see Lucian. He's a big boy now, and he whips out his crossbow and just starts murking these werewolves before they enter into the fortress. And you get the one that gets shot and then slides under the door, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. And of course it turns into a practical werewolf, which I always appreciate about these movies, is the fact that they still use a lot of practical effects. And you find out this is Sonja. This is
Sonja,
Viktor's daughter, who is made mention in the first one as being Lucian's love that he watched dies. So you kind of know what's going to happen to this character by the end of the movie. Oh,
Spoiler
man.
alert.
The funniest thing is, back in the day when this movie came out, I was very confused. I thought they recast Kate Beckinsale. I didn't know this was a prequel. And I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, that's not Kate Beckinsale. Did they recast her? Like, that's not Celine, is it? Not knowing it was a prequel and she had nothing to do with this movie. There are some, I don't know, maybe we'll clear them up. Maybe you guys will have an answer, because I was watching this movie and where's this person? Where would this person be? Where does this take place? Supposedly this takes place in like the 1400s.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Oh no, I don't know. Like I wasn't I don't recall the specific time when they said essentially everything started with Corvinus line.
Well, yeah, because they say in the beginning of this that it's 20 years since the first vampire and werewolf. So the 20 years since Marcus and William did their thing.
We know roughly because in the last movie it was 1202 in the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
So it had to be.
So that doesn't make any sense. Why would it be 1400?
I don't know. Unless they meant 2 centuries. No.
I thought they said 2 decades.
Maybe they didn't remember.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
As either way, it doesn't matter.
But Sonja's a bitch.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I mean, at least when you see her in the scene, you kind of figure out that it's all just a ruse. He is Viktor's like pet. He's like his favorite because of course he's the one who kind of helps create this entire army. He's also the blacksmith of the fortress of all the vampires and all that. So of course he's gonna take care of her sword and all of her armor and all of that. So yeah, this is when you find out what the lycans are doing, what they're made to do, and we meet this really shitty guard, and he sucks.
Yes, he does.
And
does
boy,
he have a name?
I don't think so. But as soon as I saw this guy and he talks for about 2 seconds, I'm like, I can't wait to watch you die. It's gonna be very enjoyable. And Lucian, of course, stands up to him because he's bullying another guy, and the guard's like, I can't wait to watch you fall. I'll be right here to watch. He's
Quit
like,
picking on that baby lycan man.
He's like, I'll be waiting for that day. So Viktor's douche, but we already knew this, right? He also
is a douche. I thought you said Viktor's douche. I was like, possessive? I'm sorry.
Yes, he has a closet full of them.
He probably does.
No, he is very stubborn and hard-headed, and because he is the elder vampire, he is like the king of the vampires, right? And so every time somebody in the council is like trying to come up with better ideas to help like protect everything or make things better, he's just like, no, we can't do that. Like one of the councilmen is literally like, why don't we make noble lycans? Like, why don't we make like our own, like more noble lycans? They're able to sleep or, live better than the slaves that we have. And he's like, no, because they're animals. We can't do that because then they'll overrun us and, wah.
He's such a fucking traditionalist. This is the same shit that happened in the first movie.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't let go. Like, it's the order. We have to follow the fucking rules. Nothing changes ever. Blah, 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 blah. And he sounds just like that.
I mean, the crazy thing is we find out in the second movie that Viktor wasn't even a vampire until we met William. William turns him into a vampire.
Yeah, he ruled this land.
Yeah, he was the king.
He wasn't a vampire yet.
Yeah.
And then he had big dick syndrome, so he's like, I'm gonna rule over everybody. I'm a vampire now.
But yeah, the guy's like, hey, we'll make noble lycans. We'll have Lucian be like the head of that clan. And
sounds logical.
I feel everybody will be happy, right? And he just doesn't want to get rid of the fact that it's not even the fact that like, oh, they're animals, like they can't live civilized lives. It's like, no, then I'll lose my slaves. And you're like, I feel we could figure something else out. So you kind of
that's 100% it.
Yeah. How about when you conquer somebody and you get prisoners, right? You just use them, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. It's not good any way you see it, but
nope. System
there's alternatives, Viktor. There's alternatives. So Lucian, he like his little shop is like down in this little like alleyway or like road that everybody walks down, and there's like a grate that he picks up and he is able to like escape through it. And
like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
100%. It's literally yeah. If the turtles were in medieval times, yes. So he goes.
They were almost there.
They were. They were in feudal Japan. It was pretty close. So he climbs up to this like perch, and of course, this is when you find out that Sonja is supposed to be. She's on the council, but she doesn't show up for any of the meetings. And
she's too busy being a death dealer.
Exactly. What? Like, was Celine doing this? Like, I don't think so.
Yes. Well, they're a lot alike. They're the soldiers. They're the warriors. That's what they want to do. They want to hunt. They want to kill. They don't care about politics.
Right. Well, Viktor was all mad because he was afraid like, oh, you're gonna lead the werewolves straight to the death dealers, and she's like, well, I mean, aren't we supposed to be fighting them? Like, aren't we? We're death dealers, right? That's kind of our job to do these things. And she's like, why are you doing this? Like, I'm just doing my job. And he's like, because you're my daughter. It's like, okay. So Lucian is like climbing up to this perch, And this is at the same time when Viktor asks Tanis to go look for Sonja. And so you get this whole thing like, is Tanis going to find out about the thing we're about to find out, which is Lucian and Sonja are fucking. Bro, my wife walked in as soon as the scene starts.
Yes.
I was like, oh, perfect timing. You sit down right as sex scene is happening. Hey, come here, let me show you.
It's the best part. Watch this thing on the cliff. We got to try this.
That's what I was just about to mention. The fact that where she is on top of him riding him and he is halfway off this cliff like, woo!
I'm king of the world.
It's so good.
Her lady part's supposed to be like a bear trap, dude. Like, he ain't going nowhere.
God. It's so good. Jesus. But yeah, it's a jump cutty sex scene. There's not a lot going on until that one shot, and you're like, yeah. Oh man. But after the sex, Lucian's like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna try to escape. She's like, why would you do that? And he's like, because I'm a fucking slave. Do you see this fucking collar I got around my neck? Like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks. But I need you to come with me because I love you. And she's like, I don't know. I'll have to talk. I'll have to think about it. Which is pretty much what she says.
Oh my God. Have you seen the meme? That's usually the lady posts a picture of herself and then the dude that she's with. It's like, he just nutted inside me and now he's doing this. And like, I just thought of like her with Lucian. It's like, he just nutted inside me and now he's trying to figure out how to take his collar off.
What?
Have you not seen
I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen the one where the two people are just laying in bed and it's like, I bet he's thinking about other women. And it's just like something ridiculous.
Well, the ones I've seen because of the shit I'm into. But he's like, he just nutted inside me. And now he's...
Hold on. We are different parts of social media.
No, it is. But not specifically that part. It's like he just nutted inside of me and now he's building a magic deck. Or he just nutted inside of me and now he's building a Gundam.
Yep, we're definitely on different parts of
totally different planes.
Boy, Dan's side of the internet is wild.
It can be.
So
you have no idea what he's shown me.
Oh, you know that song?
I don't.
Was it Take You to the Other Side from The Greatest Showman? That's what I just thought of.
Dan, are you referencing a song from a musical?
It is, because she listens to it a lot in the car. Okay. And that's what I just thought of.
Oh, God. Golly. All right. Did anybody have that on their bingo card today? Dan referencing a song from a musical? All right.
That was like obviously related to pornographic material. It's like, let's segue into this.
Yes, exactly. That's why we'll never be monetized on YouTube. It's fine.
100%. I try hard for it.
So yeah, you find out that Lucian crafted his own key to remove his collar.
Being a blacksmith, he could do.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Smart guy.
No, I'm not saying I don't believe it. It actually makes more sense than a lot of things that happen in this movie.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
So we then get this whole thing where they go back and for one, Sonja met him on this cliff, right?
Yes.
Why would she follow him back down the same route he took so that there's a possibility that someone's going to see them together, which someone does?
Can they not just bound and leap great distances and just go separate ways?
I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. They literally snuck around each other to meet each other up on this cliff so no one knew that they were together. But hey, on the way back, we're going to make a mistake. It's called post-nut mistake, which is I'm going to take the girl I'm not supposed to be with, and I'm going to usher her out into the main street where someone could see us.
He's like, I'll see you later, sugar tits. Slaps her on the ass. Like, everybody sees it.
Tanis is like, I see you.
Yes, that's it. That's the face. That's the face. I love it.
Oh, Lord. Then you find they shoot out to like a tree outside there's a couple werewolves that are hanging out in a tree outside the fortress. They're waiting for their attack. So what?
Do you think that you think the werewolves are like, what's the cue to attack? Stinks like sex over there.
Smells like sweaty balls. Attack!
Get him!
So we then find out that there are human nobles visiting the fortress. And I'm like,
cool.
It's cool, but I'm also like, that sounds like a bad idea. Like, you're going to a place where there's very powerful vampires. Sounds awful. And also, you're traveling on horse and buggy in this forest where clearly there are reports of werewolves everywhere, which is exactly what happens. But of course, Sonja, as a death dealer, is going to, like, they're like, oh, we're going to go out and protect the nobles. We're going to go meet them and make sure that they make it here safely. And Sonja is like, I'm going. And they're like, well, your dad says you can't go. And she's like, I'm going anyways. And then she and rides off. That's exactly how it went, guys.
100%. That's accurate.
So she leaves. And as soon as she gets to the carriage, werewolves start attacking. And it's pretty cool. Like, I love this attack scene. The dude getting yoinked out of the carriage, my favorite kill.
Yes.
You don't see him die. You just see the blood splatter all over his wife and kid. You're like, God damn.
Yeah, they seem to. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the violence, like gore overall, was toned down a bit for this movie compared to the last one.
Yeah, to be honest.
To a certain extent.
I feel like the action is toned down in this compared to the other.
Yeah.
two.
Like, nobody's head just gets ripped off that I remember.
No, there's a lot of things that are like off screen, like this guy's death. But even some of the werewolf kills, like Lucian kills a couple when he shows up. Because I don't think a lot of werewolves die in this. But this is also where we meet Reyes. Like, Reyes is one of the human, like, I'm guessing he's a slave. Because there's a bunch of people being like towed behind the carriage, which I'm guessing this is the sacrifice, right? Like this is their offering to the vampires, which then they turn them into lycans, which you'll see that process later.
Yep.
So they ambush, big crazy attack, and then Lucian goes out to help, and this is when everything is out of control, and he unlocks his collar, throws it off, and you find out that the reason that they wear these collars is it's got 2 silver spikes on it. So if they were to transform, it would end up killing them, I guess.
Yes.
So he takes off the collar and immediately turns into a lycan, which you can tell the difference. You know, a lot of these, the werewolves that are in this woods are all like William's werewolves, right? The ones that William ended up turning, which Lucian actually explains why. I don't remember if he explains it to Sonja or if he explains it to Reyes later on in the prison about like, hey, what were those? Like, why were those so aggressive? And he's like, oh, because those are William's. I think he calls them disciples. Like, they're like, they follow William, who was the first werewolf.
I think it is to Reyes, like when he's talking in the prison cell. I believe it's when they do that part of it.
And you can see like the difference. Like when Lucian turns into the werewolf or a lycan, he's got like the more the shorter snout, and he's just a way different design.
Yes.
But he literally just roars, and all the werewolves are like, all right, I'm not fucking with that guy. Just back up. And then Viktor sees this, and he's like, oh, no, you didn't. He's like, you took off your collar? You're in big trouble. And Sonja's like, he saved my life. And he's like, shut up. I've told you how many goddamn times to stop, to listen to your father, and you're not listening.
Go to your room.
Yeah, pretty much. It's exactly what he tells her, like 3 times in this movie. And so Lucian is not Viktor's little pet anymore. He's not his favorite. He gets some lashes, and it's not normal lashes either.
Yeah.
These are fucking
bad.
Like, there are spikes on the end of this thing. There's like a sword blade at the end of these.
And they had to pick the crazy guy to do it, too.
It's that stupid guard who literally walks up to him and goes, I told you I'd be here when you fell. And I was like, oh, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Your backside's mine, you fuck.
Yeah. Did you bring your lube?
Because you ain't going.
And Viktor's like, not that. Not that. The other thing.
Later.
Boy, this is an extra not safe for work episode this week.
Well, you never know. Listen, like, they not good treatment of prisoners is all I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely not.
People. It's terrible.
So all my notes say is the guard sucks. Viktor sucks.
I
with a
wanted
lot
a
of
name for this
U's.
cocksucker. I wanted a name for this dude.
Yeah.
So when he gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, he's just an asshole. I can see his face when I close my eyes. Like, oh god, that guy.
Gotta wash my eyes.
Gives me nightmares.
Why is he so sweaty?
But the great thing about this scene, I mean, it's not a great scene because the dude's getting whipped, but I think what's great is
Some
that you're
people like that.
seeing yeah. I don't think like it this way, but you never know. No judgment here. Seeing the reaction of like the other vampire nobles when this is happening, because like the guy who suggested the to create the noble lycans, he's there. He's kind of like, Viktor, I don't think we should be doing this. Like this is the guy. Like, we kind of need this guy. And he's like, you shut your goddamn mouth. Are you an elder? Nah, shut up. And that's literally what Viktor just does to everyone in this movie.
And you realize this dude, I don't even know his name.
Coleman.
Like, he's in
Coleman.
Coleman, whatever. He's like the voice of reason and logic.
Mhm.
Like, you don't even realize. I didn't even think about it until you said that. Like, this dude was on point the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like, give him a better living. Take care of him. Don't do this to this dude. He's their fucking leader, and you're going to cause problems.
Yep.
But that's just fucking Viktor being up his own ass, being like,
Yep.
I'm the fucking Pope now. And just,
I am the captain now.
look at me. I'm the captain now.
So Viktor has a chat with Sonja. He was able to get Sonja in the prison to kind of talk to her. That's a little later. Viktor has a chat with Sonja about the whole thing because he's questioning her about the situation, and she's just like, she's got to play it off like she doesn't give a shit. Even though, like, while he's being whipped, she's up there like against the window, and that one vampire in the back's like, I feel something's going on with you two.
Not my massive animal meat. Don't do that to him.
How does it feel when he transforms? We're not going to talk about that.
That's not legal.
I made this joke. These two in this movie in universe is why bestiality exists. Fuck, it's their fault. I'm saying, man, you got to start somewhere.
Listen, the movie creates these jokes. I don't know what to tell you, people. If you're
It does. It
offended
really
by
does.
this,
It literally hands
I'm
them
not
to
sorry. Like, they write themselves, people.
It's easy.
There is probably freaking not fan film, but like, what is it called? Fan fiction out there.
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
far worse than what we're saying.
100%.
Yeah, stay out of the My Little Pony sector.
Oh no.
Save your life.
That in itself is scary.
You're talking about two entirely different types of shows, and friendship is magic indeed.
I digress. Listen. More power to you, people. More power to you. So Lucian meets Reyes and they talk, and that fucking voice just like reverberates through my body every time he opens his mouth.
So deep.
It's so
makes
deep.
everything vibrate.
Have you hit the bottom yet? I can go deeper. Oh, God. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
He's cool. I like it. I've always liked Reyes. I thought he was cool as shit in the first one.
But this is but the thing I mentioned before, this is where Reyes is like, why did they do that? Like, why did the werewolves like listen to you? And he's like, I don't know. I just transformed and did some shit. And they just were like, nah, I'm good. And he's like, why do they look like that? And he's like, well, there was this guy named William. He turned into a werewolf. He was the first werewolf. Then he turned a bunch of people into werewolves. And once they turn into werewolves, they can't turn back into humans unless they die, which we see a little earlier in the film when that one he shoots that slides through the door.
Mm-hmm.
He burns the body, and you can see it resorts back to human form while it's burning.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the lycans can turn not on demand, but I believe they always show the full moon right before like Lucian or somebody turns into a lycan. So is it moon based?
I don't know.
See,
I don't know
that's
either.
what
They don't really explain it very
werewolves
much. Yeah,
I
don't
thought that
know.
was how they transformed.
Because it seemed like Lucian was able to he was able to transform as soon as he rips that collar off. He's like full on lycan. You're like,
yeah,
he's got to be able to, right?
I'm assuming he can, since he's the first. He could just do it.
He's the OG.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I like how like Lucian gives Reyes like mad props because he's just a human and he just stood up to the fucking lycans. Like he just started going like blow for blow with some of these dudes. But he wasn't, of course, transformed or nothing because he couldn't yet. But no, it's just cool. Like he gives him mad props. He's like, you did a good job for a human.
I'm glad this guy came back.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome.
He's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
So Sonja meets with Lucian, And she's like, hey, guess what? Good news. Tanis knows about us. Hopefully he didn't tell my dad. That'd be bad. And he's like, well, you need to go find out what he knows. And so that's what her mission is. So Viktor meets with the human nobles. They show up. And boy, does this not go Viktor's way. At least I don't think it does. So they come in. They come in with a bunch of silver and stuff. And Viktor's like, I can't remember what the humans' names were, but there's like, don't you own the biggest silver mine in this area? And he's like, yeah, but all of our workers got turned. He's like, well, that seems like a you problem. He's like, what? I don't think so. Like that. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, I guess then you're going to try to pay us for some protection. And he's like, why the hell would I want protection from you? You can't even protect yourself. And Viktor's like, what you say to me?
Yeah.
Comes down, fucking chokes this dude out, throws him against a pillar. I was like, oh, all right.
Well, he's done.
I'm pretty sure you're not getting any more silver from him, but you know.
I think he did. But this is where, this is where everyone is seeing just how unhinged Viktor is. Like, he doesn't take no for an answer. He doesn't like the fact that somebody is making him feel inferior. So, yeah, he doesn't give a shit who sees what he does. He's gonna kill people.
He's dealing with his daughter who doesn't listen. Like,
yep.
Damn.
So Lucian has his first pep talk with the other lycans. He's like, we need to rise up and be better. We need to beat the vampires because they suck. We're not slaves. We're fucking lycans. Hoorah!
How do you liken that? Woo! Anyway, no, seriously though, this was a reference to the first movie we talked about. Remember, he sees the two dudes fighting.
Just stop acting like animals.
Exactly. This is that whole reference. I was like, dude, that's a good connection.
Yeah, because like it. Right, because he sees the two guys fighting in the other cell.
Yeah.
And he like grabs the other dude around the neck and he's like, we need to stand together, not fight against each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going,
doesn't like it at all.
Hopefully he got his arm around above the collar, because if he choked that guy that he just kills the dude on accident. Oh shit. My bad.
Oh shit, Jim.
That would have changed the whole trajectory of this movie, because it'd be like, he killed one of our own. Against Lucian. Fuck that guy.
Traitor. He's a traitor. Why does he sound like that?
Oh,
sorry. This guy doesn't transform into a fucking werewolf. He transforms into a humanoid crow. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came.
Oh, no. So Viktor needs a new lycan pet, because Lucian's not his favorite no more. And so he asks Sonja.
Not much anymore.
Nope. The lycan puns are out of this world.
Today, yes.
You guys are in for a howling good time.
You're welcome.
Thank you, wife. She's over here reminding me. You need to speak up and say.
No, I said it. He doesn't liking it anymore, and you're just using it. You're just running with it.
One time, Viktor is gonna like later in the movie later in the movie when Viktor and Lucian are arguing, Victor's gonna slip up like, I don't like in your tone. Damn it, they got me doing it too.
See, when Parker says Viktor, I know who he's talking about. When you say Viktor, I have to think a couple of times.
This one's with a K.
Yeah.
Yes. I would expect him to be outside the door and we're just talking shit about Viktor and he just thinks we're talking about him. Like, it's this huge misunderstanding.
My parents hate me.
He's not off work yet, so we're good for a few hours.
He just doesn't come home. He was outside the door the whole time. I'm leaving.
Just throws his head.
I'm gonna start my own group of vampires.
Oh man. So yeah, he asked Sonja, hey, you got any suggestions about a new lycan that could be my pet? And she's like, oh, maybe, I can't remember, like literally some names that are literally never said again. So I'm like, I'm not writing those down. She makes a couple suggestions.
Fracton. So I don't know.
She said it just like that. Oh my god. And then we see her wearing the amulet that Lucian was wearing in the first movie. Then you find out it was actually a key to William's tomb, which is weird to see it now, because that's what you know it as now, where it's like it means more when you see Lucian have it and then Celine takes it.
Yep,
but then you find out it's a key, and you're like, oh, okay, it doesn't really hit that bad or hit that much anymore.
And then you get down to thinking, you're like, Viktor has his in his chest.
Yeah. Why is he giving it to his daughter?
He's like, you hang on to this piece. Everybody will think they've got to figure out the other one. It's inside me.
Even though that one is determined to be a key before the other one was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a Beyblade. Then it turns into a key.
Oh, Lord. So,
Sorry.
Team Ramrod.
Team Ramrod. Say Team Ramrod. I'm not saying Team.
No, we're not calling ourselves Team Ramrod.
Team Ramrod. Oh, thank you. It's good.
Oh, so yeah, Sonja confronts Tanis. He's such a bitch.
He is.
He really is. Oh man. But he's like, listen, I'll help you. I'll help you help Lucian escape if I can have your seat on the council. And she's like, oh, I don't fucking like being on the council, so sure, why not? I don't give a shit. He's like, oh, cool. All right, sure. So she's like, but I need you to give me a meeting with Lucian right now. And he's like, all right, well, it could only be a couple minutes. So they meet up. Tanis gives Lucian a party gift, which is another key for his collar. And this is when we see the turning process where they take the human prisoners, they bring them up to a lycan, a dude who's fully transformed. He's tied up to or chained up to a wall, and literally they just push him in there. He bites him, and then they move on. Like that's it. Like, wow, that's a weird assembly line if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, you tell him. You tell him what you said. Don't mute. Just say it.
I didn't mute myself.
Just say it.
Nope.
I'm gonna say it. She said it's a gory hole.
Glory hole.
No, it's a gory hole because people get bit.
No, it's the lycan glory hole.
Okay, yeah. You don't want your dick bitten off. You just get bit in the neck.
Yeah, like
Somebody has fun with it. You know.
Yeah. Doing good today, Chester.
That's all I can say now. You can't go back
like
to
a
being a
dog
human.
bone.
He's like,
Hey, guys,
I'm so tired of this.
Scratch him.
Can I just eat one? Just give me one.
Tired. How many have you bit today? Yes.
It's like a hole punch.
Yes.
Just a fucking assembly line. Next guy. Next guy. Next guy.
His fangs aren't even real anymore. He got so filed down.
Yeah, they just replaced him.
Now they just throw him out. They're just like, all right, well, that lycan's used up. And they just throw him on a pile.
Yep. Bring in a new one.
He's all wore out. Just bonk him on the head. Grab the next one.
This guy comes in with a fucking Flintstones mallet. Just
Yeah.
all right, next.
Gary, you're up. Thanks, coach. I'm ready.
Take off his collar.
Yes. Remove the collar. The collar of discipline. And attach the collar of victory.
What is that even? What is the collar of victory?
It's a reference to The Simpsons.
Oh,
It's where it's when they do the stonecutter thing, and Liam Neeson voices the main one, and he sneaks in on him, and he's like, "We will attach the boulder of shame," and it's like a boulder, like a good sized boulder attached to a collar, and he's got to walk to it. And then they realize he's like the chosen one, and he's like, "Remove the collar of shame and add the collar of victory or success." It's a bigger boulder attached to a collar. Oh my god, sorry.
Oh man. So yeah, Lucian has an escape plan. No one knows it, but he's got one. And he's gonna rile up the guys again. Like, this is what we're gonna do. And they're like, I don't care, just get us out of here. So the guard finally fucking gets at that son of a bitch. He gets brought in, and Lucian, and this is he takes off his collar. So the guard goes in because they're like, oh, he left. He escaped. And he's like, oh, no. And he goes into the thing and then immediately walks to that door. And Lucian just is out of the darkness, just fucking devours him. It's fantastic. I loved it.
As one should.
So, yep, time to escape, everybody. He literally hands off the key. And I'm like, I'm watching all these dudes run out of this cell. And they're like in the middle of taking off their collar. I'm like, someone's going to drop that key. Someone's dropping the key. It's the only key they have.
They handed to one random guy that I was like, that fucker's losing.
Yeah. Or he's like halfway down the hall, and the next guy's like, hey, it's my turn. Give it to
or
me.
he gets two lycans in, he gets picked off, and the key falls down a hole. Like, oh fuck.
Oh shit. This movie.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
They should have done this whole scene like what was it? Oh fuck. Ocean's 11 style. Like you see it, and then like at the end, it's already happened. Like all the lycans are already out, and you don't even realize it. And George Clooney shows up.
I was thinking.
There's no security cameras. How the hell are you going to do that?
No, fuck, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
It's a period piece. I don't know.
All right. I believe you. Oh, man. But we get to see those big-ass arrows again. God damn, those things are huge.
Those guys get fucked in that
Those are like comedically large.
The one in the face. He gets the wall.
One like through the arm of one guy, the face. I'm like, God damn. And then a bunch of them get shot in like one section, which like leave a bunch of the lycan behind. And Lucian's like, we got to leave them behind. Like, there's nothing we can do. And they're all like, wait, please. He's like, fuck it. What am I supposed to do?
We'll come back.
I'll come back. It's going to be fine.
You'll be fine.
So this is a scene coming up, like literally right after this scene. He runs down this one hallway and there's these two vampire guards that are like at the end. And he like grabs them both and crashes through the wall and then falls. Yep. It looks awful. This whole effect looks terrible. It's just super, like, I don't know what kind of like effect they were using. It just looked like it looked straight up green screen, which is probably what it was.
Yeah, probably.
But I was just like, oh no. I did like the fact when the two vampire guards like disintegrate because because the sun's out and Lucian is just able to land on his feet like a cat, even though he's technically a dog. And and then he is able to like run off. And Tanis gets in trouble. He's like, Viktor walks up to him. He's like, hey, where's that key I gave you for his cell? And he's like, oh, I locked it in the armory. It must still be there. Let's go check. And of course, he goes into the armory and he's like, he does that. Oh, it's got to be around here somewhere. I know I found it. And right as like Viktor is like right there. He's like, oh, I found it there. He's like,
I believed you.
I believed sure you the whole time. Don't you worry, pal. So Lucian's like, hey, Reyes, can you lead us to that human noble estate so we can get some weapons and all that? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? Never see it. We never see them go there or get anything. We're just assuming they went there.
Yep.
So now it's time.
Just make the movie longer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, all right, now we gotta build an army. And they're like, I don't know how we're gonna build an army. We got no weapons. We get like, wow, there's like barely any of us here. Also, most of them are still back at the fortress. They're like, we'll go back for them. So Lucian leaves, and then Viktor finds Lucian's escape hole that he used to go rendezvous with Viktor's daughter to have sex over the cliff. I don't remember what happens with this. I just know he finds the grate. This scene's great. I love this. Lucian is like going somewhere. I don't know if he was trying to find this cave or he was just on his way somewhere and then he finds this cave, but he hears howling and stuff going on in this cave. So he's like, yeah, all right, I'm going to go in there and see what's going on. And it's literally a cave full of like 1,000 lycan. They're everywhere. And my favorite is they show that panning shot of all the different werewolves in this cave, but then it shows Lucian and you see like the snout of one come into the shot and you're like, oh, that's good. And even he has like a fearful look on his face when it happened. But yeah, nothing happens with that.
I think that comes up because earlier in the film, Reyes mentions to him when all the lycans were there, he's like, they listened to you. Mm-hmm. Or the werewolves, not the lycans.
Yeah, that's what that. Like, yeah, so he was going there to kind of recruit them.
Essentially, like, hey, dude, if we need help, we'll give you the signal. You'll know to come.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that, but then it shows a little bit later, like the werewolves all kind of surround him, and then there's the one that like drops down to his knee to be like, we're giving our services to you, and he's like, all right, when I call, you need to be coming. And they're like, aye, Capitan, I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yep, we'll rest up until you're ready.
Yeah,
he leaves like, what a fucking joker.
So Viktor chats with Sonja again, and he's asking her a bunch of questions about if she knows anything about the escape and, anything that he would want to know. And she's like, I don't know anything. I swear, I'm a good daughter. I'm just rebellious. Like, come on, Dad, believe me. And he's like, well, if you're not going to tell me the truth, then I'm going to bite you. And this is, as we learned in the past 2 movies, when a vampire bites another vampire, they can like absorb their memories. And so it's literally a highlight reel of the last like day, and it literally shows them having sex on the cliff. I was like,
yep.
And
From
he
a
is
third-party perspective.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
It's just a dude holding the camera. It's a little too early for cameras, but it's just like I'm the vampire memory guy. I'm the vampire memory cameraman. It's fine.
Lucian, stay to the left. We need to keep this covered.
A little farther over the cliff, okay?
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you. And oh my God, is Viktor pissed? He goes off. He is like freaking out, calling her, like saying that she has betrayed them and all that. Also, did you guys notice the fact that Sonja's eyes change colors a couple times in this movie? When you first meet her, her eyes are blue. And then when she's with Lucian during their hot scene, her eyes are brown. And then in this scene, her eyes are back to blue again. So I don't know if they forgot to put the contacts in one of the scenes. And they were like,
maybe
the scene went well. Maybe they won't notice. I did.
Yeah.
Or maybe vampires could just change their eye colors. I don't know. So yeah, she's fucked.
She was, and she is again.
Oh no, she's like bad, like the bad version of fucked.
Yeah.
Not the good side.
Because he's like, you need to stay in here because you're in trouble. And Viktor literally goes to his throne. He's like, everybody's like, what are we supposed to do? Lucian's gonna round up all the lycans and the werewolves, and they're gonna attack, and we're fucked. And he's like, don't worry, I have a trap. And they're like, what are you gonna trap him? He's like, don't you worry, I got something good. And they're like, oh,
it's in my sleeve.
But Lucian bites, of course, because that random vampire girl that we saw earlier that clearly knows about them rides out to him to tell Lucian that Sonja is in trouble, that they found out about them. And so Lucian's like, I got to go back and save her. And they're like, what? You're going to risk everything for this vampire? And he's like, I love her so much. You don't understand. I love her. So I'm going to go save her. Like,
we all are. And we're all going to die for it, too.
Okay. Sounds like a bad plan, but sure.
I thought we were just here for freedom and shit, not like dying for some lady.
Oh. Viktor gets to Sonja. Or not Viktor. Fucking Lucian gets back to Sonja. And he gets her and they escape. And there's this one guard. We see him earlier in the movie. It's like a quick thing. He goes up to Viktor and tells him about Sonja being in her room or whatever. And then he goes and tells, and then he's like, oh, I need you to go get her. Is this Craven? They never mention who this is, but wasn't Craven involved in all of this?
Craven's been around for a long time.
Where the fuck is he in this movie?
That's a great question.
So I guess originally he was supposed to be, and then they, I don't know if it was a scheduling conflict or what, but they just were like, nah, we don't want to include him. It's like, but you mentioned the fact he was literally there for this event, and now he's nowhere to be found. You hear his voice at the end of the movie.
Yes, you do.
But that's it. I would just assume this was Craven, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
He didn't have a name, or at least I don't remember him having a name. So the vampires try to flush out Lucian and Sonja with tar barrels. They're like in the sewers or the place that Lucian was going around trying to get into his fuck cliff or whatever. What?
This is where I said that that Lucian's Mario and Sonja's Princess Peach Daisy, and they're fighting against Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, they're throwing barrels and they're jumping the barrels.
I mean, it is pretty interesting that they're like throwing the barrels down. It's like full of like tar or something, and they're just lighting them up. And you get the whole thing where like the fire is all around them, and they're looking at each other in the eyes. They're like, "We gotta do it." And they look up at the one grate that no one is at because they're waiting for him to jump through this. They're like, well, they got to go somewhere. And Lucian's the first one to jump out. He fights a bunch of the vampires, kills a bunch of them. And not liking this fight. This feels very Resident Evil, and I was not a fan of it. It's very jump cutty and back and forth. And it just didn't feel very fluid compared to some of the fight scenes in the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sonja jumps through the same grate, and she ends up fighting a couple of them. And then you get the whole thing where Viktor shows up and he and Sonja fight. And then you get the whole thing where he's like, he's down and she has him pinned and she's got the sword to his neck and she's like, you wouldn't do this to your grandchild. And then she grabs his hand and puts it on her stomach because she's pregnant. And he is just like terrified. He is like, abomination. That thing inside you, thing growing is, it's the worst thing ever. And she's like, but I love him, Daddy.
This world isn't ready for Scott Speedman. Couple more centuries need to pass for that.
Yeah. But she gives herself up because they're going to kill Lucian because he's surrounded by the vampires. So she gives herself up and she's put on trial and immediately found guilty. Like literally she's in that room for about 20 seconds and they're like, you have betrayed your coven. You've betrayed everybody here. You are pregnant with, you had sex with a lycan and now you're pregnant with it. So yeah, you're definitely guilty. And
some person in the background is like, stop fucking the livestock. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
And yeah. And well, you get this whole dramatic thing where they got to vote on it, right? So you get the bunch of the people going, I. And then, of course, the last one to say it is Viktor, which is just like, and I love Lucian's reaction. She's like, Viktor, she's your daughter. And he's just like trying not to cry, which I didn't feel bad for him when he was crying anyways.
No.
We see him later.
You got to follow the rules.
Yeah. That was a great Bill Nye right there because he enunciates everything. He's like, how dare you betray your coven? It's fucking Davy Jones, man. That's literally what how Davy Jones talks, man.
It is. It's so good. It's so good.
And I bet when Bill Nye is doing these scenes, because like I've seen interviews with him, he's a very relaxed human being. But when he's doing these type of scenes, I could just imagine the actor in front of him just getting spit on constantly. It just reminds me of that episode of Friends where Joey has to act alongside Gary Oldman.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary Oldman can't stop spitting. He does spit acting. But like, just this, you need to listen to me, Sonja. You betrayed your coven for the last time.
And she's like, wait, I need a minute. And she like wipes her face.
Say it, don't spray it.
Towel guy. Next scene.
Oh God. So, yep, she's gonna die, and we get the whole thing where Lucian gets strapped down to the floor right in front of Sonja as she's strapped to like a pillar because he is going to watch her die. But before that, he gets whipped a bunch of times, and yeah, it's all a sad moment. The only thing is I feel like we just don't get enough of their relationship to kind of garner these emotions, especially Sonja. Yeah. I really thought that Sonja was going to do more in this movie, and to be honest, she doesn't do a lot. I like this. What's her name? Rona Mitra. She looks like a badass, and she is a badass in some of the fight scenes that she's in. But she doesn't really do a lot in this movie. And then, like, you don't see a lot of their relationship other than the fact that you know their history based on the other movie, right? So, but the scene still sucks. Like, I'm not sucks in a bad way, but it sucks to see, like, the fact that he has to watch the love of his life be burned alive. But, it just shows how great of an actor Michael Sheen is. Because when you see, like, it's this big dome, and there's this little tiny window that opens up and it like feeds the sunlight into this exact spot, and she fries immediately. And you just hear his guttural screams of no. Yeah. And you're like, like this dude is selling it. And then it like goes to her room where Viktor is like grabbing onto the pillar of her bed, listening to Lucian's screams of agony as he watches the love of his life die. And I'm like, I don't feel bad for you, asshole.
Nope. Did this to yourself. You could have done something.
Yep. So this is when like Viktor comes into the room. He sees his daughter all charred up, and he takes the amulet that was around her neck. And then fucking Lucian is pissed. He is able to change because this is where I'm confused on if the moon causes his transformation, because it actually, the shot before he transforms it shows the moon coming out from behind the clouds. So I'm like, is he only able to transform when there's a full moon, like your typical werewolf. Kind of it shows it like that, but maybe it just shows the moon because it's linked to werewolves. I don't know.
It makes me wonder if he can transform whenever he wants to, but the full moon makes him. And he can't stop it.
That makes sense. I feel like that makes sense.
That's no moon.
That's a space station.
That's a pizza.
It is a pizza. Fuck, they got us.
Pizza the Hut.
You find out all werewolves are just Italians, and it was the pizza pie in the sky that just did it all.
Oh god. So yeah, he transforms into a lycan, and he attacks Viktor, steals the amulet, and goes off. I love the practical lycan on all these scenes. Like when he comes out of the shadows on that street where his blacksmith shop was, like it shows him coming out of the shadows, and it's all the practical suit. Oh, it looks so good. And we then get the big attack where he is trying to escape. He gets attacked, gets shot in the back, which then brings him back to human, but he's able to call out to all the lycans and werewolves out there. And then we get a shoddy, very, very interesting shot of all the werewolves and lycans running through this gigantic field. And all the lycans are running in the same exact way.
Yep.
It's like they created one and just copied and pasted for all the other ones because they're all running very awkwardly. I don't know if I liked this very much. I get that why they had to do it because they wouldn't, the suits wouldn't have looked good either if they had them all running through this field. So of course CGI is going to be used, but it just, I don't know. Maybe it was the way they were running. Like they very, very robotic. Like it didn't look like what a dog looks like when it's running. It was weird. But then when you get to see some of the humans that were bit, finally get to see them transform. You don't see Ray's transform in this, do you? Does he transform in this? I don't think he does.
I don't remember.
Or maybe it's the very end.
I can't recall. I'm sorry.
Because I think he just because he runs through the field, and then he is the one who actually finds Lucian and helps him out and helps him heal. But yeah, we get a Wilhelm scream here too. I love it when they're climbing over the wall and the one guy gets his and they get the Wilhelm scream. I have that in my notes. And yeah, they go through and they set all the rest of the lycans free, all the ones that were left behind in the first escape.
Like there's a scene like Lucian just yells, "Viktor, let my people go."
I mean, pretty much that's what's happening.
Kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Well, he's literally like, it really turns, I'll talk about this at the end. Just go.
Well, I do love the whole thing where all the vampire nobles are in that room and they get all cornered by the lycan and just get fucking torn to shreds.
Yep.
It's fantastic. So Lucian fights the death dealer or death dealers who are being led by Viktor, who just runs away like they're fighting. And you get the one thing where like Lucian gets his jacket because Reyes finds his cool jacket. And then he comes out like of this doorway and he sees Viktor and he's like, "Oh, fucking get you son of a bitch." He jumps down, he runs through, and then Victor's like, "I'm out." And he like takes off all his shit and like goes into the sewers.
Runs through.
Yeah. He was like, he's got his little cape going behind him. Yeah.
Sorry.
We see that Tanis is in like the library, I'm guessing, like collecting scrolls. And Viktor comes up and he's like, "I don't give a shit about any of this. Get the elders and get out of here." And we actually get to see Marcus and Amelia's casket, the one we see later on in the first, or we see in the first one. I love it. He's just like, where were they? Were they just in this hole? Like he's using a chain pole and he's just like, and then he puts him in a boat and he's just like sailing away.
Go to freedom.
Lucian and Viktor fight. It's not the greatest fight, but it's a fight. Viktor kind of doesn't do anything. They get a couple blows here and there, and then there's like this spiral stone staircase that they're fighting on, and Lucian is using the sunlight to his advantage. He like pins Viktor against the wall, and then he just shoves a sword through Viktor's mouth.
Yep.
And for anyone who's seen the other two, they go, "Well, he's not dead, so it's not that dramatic," because he gets stabbed through the mouth, and then he throws him in a chain, and he just kind of falls into the water. And you're like, all right, well, he ain't dead. We see him later on. So
Apparently Lucian thought he had him.
yeah, but also, did we find? Remember in the first one, they find Celine finds that book where it tells them it's like the whole story was that Lucian died during this time, right?
Mm.
And they carved like skin from Lucian's body, and that proves that he's dead. And it was in this book. Did we find out whose skin it really was?
No, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, because it doesn't
Viktor
explain it
wasn't
here.
there for it. Viktor wasn't there for it. So this must have been like after this or post this when all this happened. Like when the deal was made with Craven.
Huh.
I'm assuming.
I was just confused because I was like, what? Yeah, because Craven's not in this. They don't show any of that. But they showed the same scene of Sonja dying, which we see in the first one. Which, as I stated, in the 2017, they redid the scene from the first one. They included the scene from this one instead of the original scene. So you actually see this version of Sonja instead of the original.
Which is what we saw in our version when we watched it.
Which is weird because mine
didn't
didn't have that version, which was very odd, especially since it has all the versions of the movies. So
right. Well, I wonder if they were intending on doing that, but since I guess they couldn't get the actor that played Craven, or they didn't bring him back or whatever, so they decided to just like X-nay it from the movie. But I felt they could have just slotted it in here.
That could be. I don't know.
Uh,
So yeah, because shortly after this all happens, of course, Lucian walks out, sees everybody is like, "Yay, we won! Victory is ours!"
Yay!
And Reyes looks up at Lucian like, "You're my boy, Blue." And they're like, "We did it," and he's like, "No, it's just the beginning."
What title card? I'm sorry. What?
I was gonna say no. That happened a while ago.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. Then we see
title card at the end.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like Fresh. Remember Fresh had like a title card like 30 minutes into the movie?
Yes. Like, where are we at? It's okay if you don't have a title card. You don't have to.
Nah,
we kind of know we're watching.
They're still working on the title card when the movie started.
Yeah. They're like shit. Final. They're like calculating. Ah!
Just stick it in. Where? I don't care. Just put it somewhere.
Somewhere.
The USB port, damn it. Put it in the fucking USB port.
Yep. I'm gonna put it in the most awkward spot in this movie.
It won't go in. Flip it over.
You flip it 4 times before it actually gets in there.
Never get it right the first
time.
time.
It's the worst. I'd be awful at that.
Field. The first spot breaks it, and then you get it. Okay.
You just hear every pin in the fucking thing just.
Well,
I think it's broken now.
Just pull it out. The whole USB drive comes with it. Oh boy!
All of the computer. It won't stop.
What's happening? Why is it just spaghetti now? Just like, it's not wires anymore. It's literally just boiling spaghetti noodles. What is this? Oh, hey, speaking of that, which is funny because Ridley, because I mentioned a while ago for long time listeners that he does computer stuff, right? He's been doing stuff with his computer. So we finally got around to upgrading his computer because he's been playing Tarkov with us. I was like, dude, I've had this motherboard forever. Let's put it in. So he was like putting USB stuff in there. So I'm glad you mentioned this. I was like, God, I hope these USB ports are good. Like this is an old tower. It's been in our basement or in his room for like 5 years. And I'm like, this thing is fucked. There's no way this is going to work. So far, so good. So we'll see. But this made me think of that.
For now.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm not doing it. No more. Done. Nope. No more.
Oh, he's cut himself off. What?
I can't. I know. It's too much things. Nobody's going to know what I'm talking about anyway.
Well, the final thing that we see is that Viktor is alive. Whoa! Shocking. And he is sealed up in his coffin. And then it brings us to the beginning of the first Underworlds with a voiceover from Craven telling Celine about Viktor killing her family and why he killed her family and why he turned her into a vampire, because she looked like Sonja. And it just shows literally the opening shot of Underworld, of her on the edge of that like cathedral or church or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. That is 2009's Underworld Rise of the Lycans. I forgot to ask in the beginning if you guys had ever seen this movie, but I don't think you guys said that you've only seen the first one, right?
Yes.
I don't remember seeing the first one.
So none of these.
I-
These are all fresh. For
I think these are all because I talked myself out of watching the first one because people were saying it was stupid.
No, it's awesome.
I
Now you know it's awesome.
Now, yeah, now it's awesome.
To be honest, after watching this last night, I don't think I've ever seen this.
Okay.
I think after the second one, I just was like, oh, what the hell is this? And then I always thought that Kate Beckinsale got recast because I didn't know this was a prequel for the longest time.
Dude, I guarantee that affected sales. I bet people thought like, oh my God, they recasted Kate Beckinsale's character.
I mean, $91 million is pretty good for a third movie in a franchise. So
yeah.
But so all right, well, I guess time to go around the room and talk about our final thoughts on the movie. Dan, what did you think of this?
No.
Oh.
Just kidding. Anyway,
just no.
Hold on. I do want to start this because you posted. I had not looked at the pictures for this, like the poster, until you posted
I picked
it.
possibly the worst poster. But it
Dude,
was the
it's
clearest
such
poster I could find
ass.
on Google, dude.
I know, but you look at it and I'm like, not that one. It's the other one with her and Fabio, werewolf Fabio. No, Lucian, the bean guy. Anyway,
the bean guy.
Well, that's just the one that comes up on IMDb.
No, you're fine. But it's them together, but they make her look so much like Kate Beckinsale. In the poster.
Exactly. They got
Like,
like the leather
it's now-
outfit,
yeah.
and like she's not wearing that in the movie.
Even her face doesn't look quite like her face in the movie. She looks like fucking Kate Beckinsale.
They were trying to sell that, I think. So there's two different versions of that poster. There's one where she's in front and he's behind her, and then there's another one where it's he's in front, she's behind.
Let me see the other one.
See if I can find it.
Because where with Lucian being in the back, he looks like shit. Like it looks like it's a grainy ass fucking shot. It looks terrible.
It looks photoshopped.
Oh, this one right here.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No, it looks really bad. But anyway,
it looks like he's 50 years old.
They do. I'm like, what?
I mean, he
movie
is
this?
now,
Not the same.
but not
then.
Are those lycans or are they rocks? Oh, they're lycans and dudes. Okay, I'm sorry.
But you also notice that when you see them in the little conference room thing, she's dressed different than all the other vampires.
She is, yes.
Mm-hmm.
She's not in any form of leather. She's in like a Victorian style dress.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't fit in with the rest of them.
No. Well, I forgot to mention the
Or
fact
that.
there's just these random like ladies, like busty ladies just following Viktor around.
Like, what the hell are they wearing?
Nothing. Not much.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Viktor.
Like one of the girls is in like a leather bodysuit head to toe. And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think that fits into where you are.
No, it's Wild Wild West. The bongos. That's what I thought of. Sorry.
Bongo kitty. Okay, finish your.
Okay, sorry. Off track. Normal. Diverting. I enjoyed the movie. It's nice and short. It's like $1.30.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Like it flows real quick. Like I wasn't concerned about the time. It's great that they've kept pretty much all the actors that are in it the same fucking people. They weren't like recasted and changed, and they felt like the characters. It was kick ass to have Lucian back. I still don't know how, like, we're gonna get to it when we talk about ratings. I don't fucking know where to place it, but I enjoyed it. I like the origin story. I like Lucian's. Like Lucian is who I gave a fuck about. They build up on the character so much, and you go into more of the background about the werewolves being slaves, and then like the werewolves are kind of painted more like the villains in most of the movies, and you're like, dude, they don't want to be slaves. I mean, they have their issue they have to deal with, but the vampires are the same way, where they got to feast on people,
right?
And I think it's neat. We get the back. It wasn't necessary. They didn't have to do this,
no,
but it was just cool. It felt like this easily could have been like nowadays. It'd been like a Netflix thing or like direct to movie, like direct to DVD back in the day. But no, it was cool that they gave it the big treatment, and I thought it was fun.
All right.
Michael Sheen was in an episode of The Simpsons.
It's probably
Just
a newer
saying.
one. It's got to be a newer. Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
Just saying. I was trying to pull up a picture of him.
Yeah.
I like this one. I liked the story aspect of it. How they're, it's more leading up to what we've seen in the first two, and they've kind of kept it the same with the flashbacks and everything. They've not like changed anything.
Right.
Like, oh, Sonja didn't die this way or blah blah blah. But yeah, I liked it a lot. A lot more than I thought I would, considering it's a prequel. Usually they don't get them right.
Yeah. They're either like acceptable or they're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel there was any part that should have been cut out to make it shorter. I thought it hit a good spot.
Yeah, it definitely flowed very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with both of you. I mean, this was enjoyable. It definitely wasn't necessary, but it did a good enough job to keep me invested in this franchise. To like, even though we know what comes next, right? Because this leads into the first two Underworlds. I'm still interested to see what's going to happen after Evolution. I'm looking forward to seeing that next chapter in the Kate Beckinsale version of this franchise. But having Michael Sheen back and getting to see like the origins of this war and all that, I thought was pretty interesting. And we were saying things about the effects, but I thought they were still good. 2009, I thought they were still good. I think it was a slightly worse than the other two, especially the CGI, but I think it was acceptable. The fact that they're still using a lot of practicals, even 3 movies in, and they had, having the director they had who specializes in all those practical effects, I thought it was well done. It was a well done movie, short and sweet, got to the point, didn't lead you in directions you didn't want to be in. You already knew the story to a degree if you had seen the first Underworld, but it gave you some extra details, and I had a good time. And I've had a good time with all of these. So,
one comment.
Yeah.
That was distracting as fuck to me. And this bothers me. No offense to people who do it if it makes them happy or whatever they got to do for the job or whatever. The lady that plays Sonja, name escapes me.
Rona Mitra.
There, Rona Mitra. Every once in a while in some of her scenes, her lip job that she had at one point or another fucking bothers me.
I don't know.
She definitely had recent something.
No, that she had something done. Go look at some stills. You can tell
her top lip is very swollen, like she got lip injections or something. Yeah, they're super swollen.
Yeah, it does not look natural at all. Not even in the slightest. But again, you do what you got to do. I don't think she was terrible. That's just something about people that I notice. No offense again to people that do it. I just leave people how they are. Unless you have some cosmetic birth issue that really bothers you, to do whatever you want. But that's just me.
Just because her now pictures don't look like that.
Yeah.
That's just me. She was in Hollow Man for like a second, and that was in 99, I think. So it was like 10 years before, and I believe she had her lips were like that. So not probably to that degree. I don't know. Whatever.
It doesn't matter. It's just a stupid thing I'm pointing out.
All right. Well, it is time to go over to social media and see what you all had to say about Underworld: Rise of the Lycans. The first place we're going to visit is over on Twitter, where our first comment is from a Dissect That Dan who says, "Wow, that's a garbage ass poster."
Yeah, that guy's on it.
At Movies Days or Movies for Days says, in all honesty, I could never get into this franchise. Understandable. Okay. Understandable. And then our last one is from Paul Jansen, one of the hosts over at Flicks and Friends podcast, who says, it's my favorite of the series. Hey, look, Dan's wearing a Flicks and Friends shirt now.
I can see why he likes it. It's good. Like I think it's just a good, nice, short, to the point, and you get some extra backstory.
It's a good
and you get more Lucian.
It's a good time. All right, we're gonna go over to Instagram. We have one from Big Bad Wolf 884 who says, this was, oh my God, I can't read today. Oh no, that's how it said. That's how it was typed out. This was my last stop on the Underworld train. Still enjoyed the prequel because I was interested in the lycans backstory.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad this individual based on his name, clearly a werewolf fan, is continuing to post on these. So thank you.
Very much enjoy that. I think that is it. We didn't get many comments because I feel as we go farther into this franchise, we're going to get less and less people commenting on it because probably most people probably didn't watch the later entries in this franchise. So
probably not.
Actually, I believe we do. Let's go over to our Discord. We do have a Discord.
We do's.
If you join the $1, or well, no, you don't even have to join the $1 tier. If you join any tier of the Patreon, you get access to our Discord. There's a lot of fun stuff going on over there where you can share your thoughts on the movies that we're covering. And we do have one from Daniel Collins who says, This is my favorite of the franchise. Lucian is all lycan sexy, and Rona Mitra as Sonja with those eyes and lips. 5 out of 5. There we go.
Fair. Glad you like it.
There we go. All right. Well, that is it.
He's gonna rip my ass about that lip comment now
Yeah.
on the Discord. He's like, "You son of a bitch.
You piece of shit." All right. The last thing we got to do before we end this episode, or at least end our conversation about this movie, is put it on the rankings. And we have 2 rankings, of course. We have one for the villain, which this, of course, has to be Viktor again. But this is, of course, Viktor from this movie compared to Viktor from the first movie. So is this Viktor better than the first Viktor? No,
I don't think so. Even though it's the same, obviously same actor doing the same part, I just think he was better portrayed in the first one.
Okay.
Even though you didn't see him all that much, like you didn't jump to like halfway in the movie. I don't know. I thought so.
You agree, Angela?
Unfortunately. Even though I
think his impact's more dynamic in the first one, even though
right.
Like, he's just being a dickhead.
Because we get that twist, right? We get the twist.
Yeah.
We think he's a good guy, and then he turns into the bad guy. Where this one is like you go into the movie knowing he's the bad guy the whole time.
Oh,
yeah.
So, yeah. All right. And then, of course...
because you see the flashbacks from the first one, you know what's kind of coming.
Right. Exactly.
So.
All right. Now it's the movie. Is Rise of the Lycans better than the first Underworld?
I don't think so.
No. All right. A lot of people stated that this one was their favorite.
Yes.
And currently, it is now the bottom of our list.
Just barely, though.
Dude, all these movies are really close for me.
Yeah, it's not like it's a
like
Yeah.
I don't think there's a huge disparity.
No.
I think they're all really kind of tight films together with very well.
It's not like we're talking about a lot of the franchises we've talked about in the past. Like when we talked about
so
Terminator, you know, you had like T2, T1, Salvation, and then it was like everything else.
Even for myself, I even said like first or second movie, like I could easily interchange. And 3 is very close to whatever you pick to be the second place. Like it's very close.
All right. Well, that's it. Our new rankings are at number 3 is Rise of the Lycans. At number 2 is Underworld. And at number 1 is Evolution. And we got 2 more movies left to see if any of the last 2 will be able to break the top 3. I don't know. I don't see it happening, but who knows? It's a 4th and 5th entry in the franchise. Not looking so good. And then, of course, our villains are Viktor from Rise of the Lycans at number 3, Viktor from Underworld at number 2, and Marcus from Evolution. All right. Well, that's it for Underworld Rise of the Lycans. Next week, we're actually going to be stepping away from the Underworld franchise for a few weeks. Next week, we're going to be doing a Gene Hackman tribute episode. For anyone who didn't know, Gene Hackman passed away about a few weeks ago now, as of this recording. And we felt he needed an episode. He needed to talk about a movie that he was in, something that, a movie that a lot of people know, a lot of people have seen, and a movie that I could think about that hasn't been talked about lately that has Gene Hackman in a pivotal role is 1995's Get Shorty, which was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, Men in Black, Addams Family. It's got John Travolta, Rene Russo, Danny DeVito. Like it's got a stacked cast. I'm very excited to talk about it and to pay tribute to an absolute legend of an actor. And if you want to listen to another episode about a classic Gene Hackman movie, I was over on the Power of Jesus Christ. I'm going to fuck up his podcast every single time I talk about it. The Power of Positive Geeking, hosted by friend and patron of the show, Corey Morissette. We talked about Crimson Tide from 1995. Gene Hackman, Denzel Washington. Great movie. Corey, I apologize. I'm going to get your goddamn podcast right someday when I talk about it. pieces.
So
yeah.
sure, I can see why you did.
Yeah. So very excited to talk about Get Shorty. Very excited to kind of venture away from the Underworld series for a few weeks, but we will be back after episode 200. But we got a couple movies that we're going to be talking about up until then. We got the big episode 200 coming up. Very excited about that. And yeah, that's about it for this. As for us, make sure to go over to all the social medias at Dissect That Film or at Dissect That Film Pod on Instagram and Threads to follow us. Make sure, we post the episodes we're doing. Sometimes I post random videos over there. If you want to follow us and do all that stuff, make sure to, like all those things. We're on TikTok. Like I said, I do videos over there. We're on YouTube where you can watch the video version of all of the episodes. YouTube.com/Dissect That Film. Hey, everybody. Hello, video watchers. And we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Dissect That Film. Or for as little as $1, you can get early access to uncut versions of the episodes out a week before the edited version of the episodes, the version that the world gets. It's fun. You get access to our Discord, which you can get access at any tier, including the free tier. And we got some other stuff in the works over on the Patreon, so make sure you go support us over there. Our patron and friend Rudy5453 upgraded to the Mark Wahlberg Book Club, which Mark Wahlberg Book Club members, you're going to be getting your library or your book club card at some point. We're going to be working that out.
Yeah.
We're going to work that out, and you guys are going to get those at some point soon. In 2025, it's happening. We're going to work it out, all right? And we got some other stuff planned, but we're not going to talk about that here. So, yeah, patreon.com/Dissect That Film. What else we got? Do I have anything? Am I missing? Oh, Dan, you got a podcast. What's your podcast?
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I wasn't ready for it. I do a very small, tiny magic podcast that could generally talk about magic news, commander stuff, and I end it all. This is the intro. End it all by opening a pack.
What's it called?
I'm getting there. It's called Mana Worm. I got to build up to it. And usually it's short. My newest episode, which is late, but it'll be out. It'll be out by the time you see this episode. But they come out every week, generally Sunday at noon. And they're usually about around the 30-minute marks where I try to keep them. If there's a lot of magic news, like there was this last week, there's a new set coming out, or at the time of recording this last week, they're longer. So you might be a couple episodes back to back. They're a little longer if there's a lot of cards and stuff that got announced. But yeah, it's generally just news. Give you a commander of the day. If you're into that, you might learn some stuff. If you just want to hear me say things, I'm loosening up a little bit. The first episodes were kind of strict. I'm going to keep this straight. It's slowly going off the rails. But that's just who I am. Oh, it's on Spotify.
You're definitely different on there than you are here.
All the other links, I'll just give to him. You can put down there, and you can find me if you want to find me.
I've been bad about that. So make sure to, if you're a Magic the Gathering fan, it's definitely a good podcast to listen to. If you want to learn about Magic the Gathering, it's a good podcast to listen to. Sometimes I listen, I go, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I'll figure it out someday.
Damn, I'm dying. I'm hit. Anyway, just message me in the Discord if you're part of the Discord, or if you want to message me on X is where I'm at all the time. I'll talk about Magic. If you got questions, like what's this all about? I'm all for it.
Definitely do that. Also, we have a monster show. It's called The Monster Zone, which is hosted by Dan and Angela. Where once a month we talk about a monster movie. We spin a wheel and we talk about a monster movie. We do 2 episodes a month. One of them is a former Patreon exclusive episode. And then the second one of the month is a brand new episode. This month, I don't really know what the first one's going to be because I believe we're at Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, and that was a full public release when we originally did it. So either I'm going to re-edit that and re-release it, or we'll just move on to the next Patreon exclusive one and go from there. Our newest one will be on 1959's The Alligator People. So I'm very excited about that. We have a new logo coming for the Monster Zone, and for anyone who didn't know, we have a new host of the Monster Zone, our good friend Mikey Ward, aka at Spectre M91. He joined us a couple months ago, and we're very happy to have him on the show. It's been a great addition to the show. He's a monster lover and brings a lot of facts and and we're just having a great time with him on the show. So it's been a lot of fun. It is on the Dissect That Film feed, so make sure, don't look for the Monster Zone as its own thing. It is part of the Dissect That Film feed. Make sure to support that if you're a monster lover. If you're not, it's a great show to listen to. All right.
Learn something.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it, people. Lastly, I want to thank our wonderful patrons. We got Billy Joseph Jr., Andrew Schoening, Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast, Corey Morissette, Daniel Collins, Rudy5453, Dustin from the Flicks and Friends Podcast, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, Anna Presley, Doom Generation, Eric Stein, Jason, and Robert Stewart. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. And thank you to everybody else for supporting us, period. We appreciate all the support, all the listens, all the shares. Make sure to continue to do that because we would like to get into more people's ears and eyes. But until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan Angelo of DNA Gaming. This has been another episode of the Dissect That Film Podcast. We'll see you all again next time. Bye.